Hey friends, it's Carol, Saltbox Stitcher, back for another video. Today is March 26th, 25th, 26th, 27th, somewhere around. So, I'm back. I have a couple finishes. I have some market haul. I have some samplers I've been working on. So, may not take too long, but it'll be fun regardless. So Hubs is out mowing the yard with his brand new lawnmower, new toy. When he first got it, he brought it in the house, and I'm like, you know, I still have customers that come to get quilts, so he's like, oh, it's not going to stay here. He didn't say it like that. I'm teasing him. But this, he told me this is episode 100 plus my birthday. I was born on the 12th of September, so I'm taking it. That means it's 112. So, good golly, Miss Molly, I can't believe I've been doing that many videos. So, anyway, I'm still here, too. That's the miraculous part. Anyway, let's get started. I just realized there's a couple things I forgot to get, so I'll have to go back. I'll have to pause for a minute at some point, but that's okay. I've really been enjoying doing Saturday smalls. It just works for me. Now, I don't always have like all day Saturday and Saturday evening, but and sometimes I may not even have as much time on a Saturday as I might have in an evening. But regardless, I did get a finish, actually a couple finishes, and I had a couple starts. So this one was a start. Let me show you the pattern first. This was a start and a finish. It's in a frame, but it's not its forever frame. I have a frame that I bought years ago that I really need like 3 of them because there's different things and they all fit in this size frame. So it's not its forever frame, but it may eventually get its forever frame. And what I'm talking about is Tulip Festival. This is by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. Tulip Festival. I used all the call for colors. However, the lighter red on the tulip, there's 2 different reds on the tulip. One is mulberry, I think, and the other is, which is, who makes mulberry? Anyway, it's mulberry. And the other one, the lighter one, is supposed to be Tennessee Red Clay. Well, that's a Classic Colorworks, I think. I don't know. I guess I could look at the pattern and get the real answer. Mulberry is by Gentle Arts, and Tennessee Red Clay is by Classic Colorworks. That would have been my first guess. So in a contest, I probably would have won that one. 1 point. Anywho, this was a start and a finish. It's on a piece of Weeks beige. It's not the Zweigart base. And this is the frame, you know, I just stuck it in there for now. It does fit perfectly. So I think Hubs is going to make me 2 more frames. And I'm not sure what its final color will be. This one is black. And I may do one that's more like a deep, deep sage. I think that would be pretty. Anyway, she's cute. She has little whiskers. I like to stitch bunnies. Who was I watching the other day? They're like, I don't stitch bunnies. Oh, I know. It was Liz, the Wandering Stitcher, and she was interviewing somebody on her Friday night live thing. I always watch them afterwards. Not always, but I tend to watch them after the fact. Anyway, whoever it was, they were like, I don't stitch bunnies. I don't either. Like, I stitch bunnies. I think they're cute. Anyway, Tulip Festival, With Thy Needle and Thread. I'm pretty sure you need to buy this chart from her website, which is countrystitchesonline.com. So again, here's the chart, Tulip Festival. And she's very cute. So that was a start and a finish and a, not in her final frame, but framed. So anyway. And then I had 2 more Brenda Gervais that I finished. Now, I must confess, true confessions. Sometimes if I'm almost done on Saturday with a small, then when I pick up my stitching on Sunday, I might like do a few more stitches if I'm close to being finished. So I have worked a little extra than just Saturdays, but anyway. And sometimes I'll take these to my Thursday. There's a group that meets on Thursdays at the quilt shop. Some people sew, some, you know, just various people. And some of us used to work together at the quilt shop that I worked at, which, by the way, random thoughts. So, you know how on FlossTube or YouTube, you get recommendations based on, you know, sometimes I get woodworking on, since my husband watches woodworking on FlossTube or on YouTube. Anyway, the scalp popped up and I thought, oh, she looks familiar. So I started watching it. Yes, it's Michael Sweet Woodruffs, Woodruffs, Sweet Woodruffs. And we used to work together. She worked at the old green cupboard that I worked at. Now, in her first video, she said, I know Carol. Anyway, she said I was one of the cool kids. I sat at the cool table. I'm like, Michael, there was only one table in the lunchroom. So we all sat at the one table. Anyway, so go give her a look. Sweet Woodruffs, Michael. She lives in Texas. She used to live in Jacksonville. Anyway, it was kind of a small world thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I know her. Crazy. That was a little diversion. Stream of consciousness. Anyway, sometimes I'll take my smalls on Thursdays. That's what I began to say. And we meet at, the old green cupboard closed in 2010, but we meet at the quilt shop that's open nowadays. And sometimes I'll take the smalls because it's easier just to stitch smalls than a big sampler when I'm with a bunch of people. So I had this one started, all that to say. Wow, that was rambling. Samplings number 2. This again is by Brenda Gervais. Now I haven't fully finished this. And I'm going to finish it into the egg, but I'm not sure I'm going to stuff it. I thought it would be kind of fun to just do it flat. Like a piece of batting and then stitch around it. Not sure. Anyway, another thing I was going to say, I'm not a great finisher, but I can sew, and I've tailored and all of that garments in my years past, in my other life. My husband always says, oh yeah, that was 2 lives ago when I worked there. So in my other life, I sewed garments. Well, a lot of times, like if you're sewing this seam and you've got it already sewn and it's flat, just as you sewed it, if you will take your seam allowance and press it back toward the egg on both sides, the side that has your backing and the side that has the front where you're stitching, and you will press those. So in other words, you've sewn the seam and then you're going to press them back on themselves. You will find you'll have a much smoother curve. So, little tip for the day. Anyway, samplings number 2. I had it started last year and I got it finished, but not fully finished. So there it is. It's very cute. That's a little, see now, is that a butterfly or is that a moth? You know, I'm animal challenged. If they're in the wild and they're real, I can tell what they are. I'm not that dumb. But if they're like a picture or stitched or, you know, I mean, I can tell a picture if it's a photograph, but not a picture like a drawing. I have trouble sometimes like on samplers. Is that a dog? Is that a cat? Is that a deer? Is that a moose? Anyway. Samplings number 2 by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. I showed you the pattern already. So then after I finished that, I thought, well, this is silly. I should do the other one. And I haven't, you know, it comes with this fabric. So I'm going to make those eggs too. So the second one, or the first one, is samplings number 1. So I thought, well, I have the first one, the second one done. I might as well do the first one. Samplings number 1 with dynamo thread. I'm not sure exactly when these came out. Let me see if there's a date. 2021. So they haven't been out all that long, although that's been 3 years ago now. So, but you can get them on Brenda Gervais' website. So anyway, I finished the second one too. The stitching. Not fully finished. Again, butterfly, moth, I don't know. Love that flower in the middle. It's very cute. This is one of those things I just have to really look at and think, okay, did I finish everything? You know, did I finish the centers of the flowers? And because it's real easy to just like think, oh, well, I'll fill that in when I have that color on in my needle. Now that I say that. Okay, no. I thought maybe this little diamond shaped thing might have something in the middle, but it doesn't. So that's samplings number 1. Fine. So I just need to, so that is my 3 finishes. So the next thing for my Saturday, I showed you this last week, or last time I did a video, and I haven't done any more on this one. And this is, I've done the Easter one. It's up here. But I want to finish those little ducks, chicks. I think they're chicks. So I have a start on that. That'll be the next one. I just want to finish it before Easter. I know Easter's not about ducks and rabbits, but anyway. And those are all DMC. Very bright Easter colors. DMC. The other thing that I want to start, this isn't totally a small, but I've had this kitted forever, since it came out, which was, don't tell me, 2020. And that's this one by Brenda Gervais, Saltbox Quilt Sampler. Hello, Saltbox Quilts Sampler. So a very nice viewer at one point sent me the fabric that it calls for, which is a silk weaver, 36 count. It's called Golden Oats by Silk Weaver. However, and that was very generous, thank you so much, but it calls for 40 in order to fit on the box. So I'm gonna have to do the math and see if 36 would also fit on the box, because I do have the box. If not, then I'm going to use this piece of roasted cashew, one of those, which syllable has the accent. When I was in school, I always thought that was the hardest thing. We had, in 5th grade, I can remember diagramming sentences and having to put the accent mark. Kids probably don't even do that anymore. You know, and it's like syllable, syllable. I can hear it now, but at the time, I thought that was so hard. Anyway, a random thought from my other life. So I have this piece of roasted cashew, and this is by Dixie Sampler. She used to, I don't know, maybe she still does. I shouldn't say used to. She used to sell on Facebook, and you had to like click the button like right now in order to get it. But it's a great color, so I may use that if the 36 doesn't fit. And these are the colors. And I'm going to paint my box black, distressed black, sort of like this frame. You know, it's like distressed. But I'm not sure. I may have to darken a few of these colors. I don't know. We'll see. But I really want to start that. Okay. I was going to show you haul, but I think before I show you haul, I'll show you what else I've been stitching. I was so hoping for a finish on this one, because I know you're tired of seeing it. And that's Elizabeth Cheatham, aka the Jello sampler, and it's by Scarlet Letter. I love, love, love this piece. Basically, I'm finished. However, so all of the stitching is finished. I'll show you in halves. I say the stitching's finished. There's not everything is finished. I have a needle in here, so I need to put that somewhere else. And here's the bottom half. Gotta get that away. So I finished the Bargello looking stitching. Most Bargello is done with like satin stitches, and this is done with crosses, so that's why it's kind of like a Bargello. A lot of Bargello is like a needlepoint or like people that do weaving. Anyway, so all that's left is this counted satin. Let me move my coffee. That goes all the way around. So I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see what I've done. See that little peach colored counted satin? It goes all the way around. So I have finished on this side going down, and I've gone, there's a hanging thread, so don't panic. I've gone almost all the way around. I mean, halfway to on the bottom. Now, I don't use a hoop, and I don't really have to use a hoop to do this. I can get it to look decent without a hoop. But when you're on 40 count and you're going in and out, so in other words, you're going 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 3 stitch, 4 stitch, 5 stitch, 4 stitch, 3 stitch, 2 stitch, 1 stitch, 2 stitch. You got it. You have to make sure where you come out is along the same thread of where you go in. Otherwise, your little sawtooth are going to be wonky. So I spent about 6 hours doing this middle pink sawtooth that goes across for one of the bands. I started working on this one Sunday afternoon, and I thought, if it takes me all day, 12 hours, I'm going to finish this. Best lie I ever told myself. Because all day it took me just to do the pink. Now the pink is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's a little taller counted satin. Not hard at all, but tedious. Let me show you that. Because I'm kind of proud of the pink. But it looks decent, and I'm okay with it. And when I came down, you know, it shows a certain place where you're supposed to end, and you don't always end on the like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and then turn the corner. But I ended where I was supposed to end, so hopefully that meant I counted. So even though I have all the Avera Soie Roger still on the ring, I'm really only using this one color. But I'm too lazy to put all these back on the big ring of stash, so until I get done with that. So that, I spent a lot of time because I hadn't finished that other Bargello. I had more parts to finish on the body of the stitching, but it's all, I just need to, and then it's going to be framed because it needs to be. I think last time I showed you my progress, so I probably don't even need to show you this. This is Autumn on Lazy Bear Mountain. Sorry for the glare, but I did get this house finished. I have not done any more on this, but I'm going to try to pick it up before the end of, I guess that would be this week, before the end of March, and do some of it over here, because I'd like to have this done by next fall. We'll see. I may actually go down and start working on this big moon, because that's a lot of fill in, and that would work out really good. Has an owl. I don't know if you can tell, but it has an owl in the middle of the moon. So that might be the next part of that. So I will be, I guess, rather than progress, that is more about plans on that one. The other thing I picked up, okay, so in my haul, Delightful Deliveries, as Jane and Julie call it. It was nice to see you two again, by the way. I'm talking about running with scissors, stitching with Jane and Julie. They're a delight. I love to see them. Them. Their floss tube and Sweetwood Drifts and Sarah's Stitchy Spot and who else have I been watching? Since I'm just going to throw that out there in the middle of the video. Who else have I been watching? Whoops. The computer did a weird noise. Sounded like it was my stomach, but it wasn't. Anyway, I'll think in a minute who I've been watching. But when I got my Delightful Deliveries of the new Blackbird books, just made me want to stitch on Blackbird. I love Blackbird for years. That was, other than a few samplers that I did in the 80s and 90s, once I started really doing a lot of, I just concentrated on Blackbird for years. That was my sister and I would take classes or go to retreats just to see Barb and Alma. Anyway, so I thought, well, I'm going to pick up one of my Blackbird pieces and start working on it. So I pulled out Little Birds. Yvette Gonzalez said it should be called Big Birds because it's so large. It is large. Oh, I've been watching Christine, Hollis Hands Creates. She's another one. Oh, and Tara, Sully Stitches. I'll just randomly throw in people that I watch. Little Birds. So I thought, I should work on this one. So I did. So again, I'm going around. Now this isn't a counted satin, but it's still like a sawtooth border. So let's see. This is the top over here. So this little gold. Okay, so when I first started doing this border, I was kind of messing up a lot on the border because it's a big border. And it has these leaves and they're kind of offset. And I thought, I better do the sawtooth first. So this sawtooth, this is on 40 count Heartland, by the way, by Picture This Plus. So this sawtooth, again, it's like 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 3 stitch, 2 stitch, 1 stitch, 2 stitch. Obviously, I can't count. Because I would be going along and then I'd look back and think, oh, that was 1 stitch, 2 stitch, 2 stitch, 3 stitch. It's like, okay, take that out. So I did some frogging, but I finally got all the way around. It matched. And then on the bottom border, it has a little bit different. It's not quite the same. It's like a plain stitch, and then it has this like, kind of almost like a scallop border. So anyway, I just decided to pick this up and work on it. So I have my big border was only to about here, so I finished that, and then I finished the sawtooth and the bottom. So I'm working on these borders. Some people say borders are boring. These borders are not boring. They're like, you got to pay attention. But I love this. I love the 2 houses. I was thinking about putting my parents in here. Alma and Barb always would take, not always, but they generally would take a sampler that's an antique and they would modify it and add their own, just take parts of it and add their own family information. I don't generally do that on a reproduction sampler, but since they've already done it, I don't have a problem doing it. So I really would like to do the border first, because once you get through the border, you know, there's a few alphabets and then there's these motifs and two houses. It's just not hard stitching once you get past that. And these are the colors. They're all overdyed cottons. The red that's in it is Chili Pepper by Classic Colorworks, and two chili peppers. And this one came out in 2019. So another blackbird. You know, and I don't know if I showed you this one. I didn't work on this, but this is an example of one that they actually charted the reproduction. Maria Selby Humphrey. I don't know if I showed you this in my whip parade. So there's the antique, and they charted the antique. And I have quite a bit finished on it. Oh, sorry. Can you put my phone on silent? It's over there on that quilt. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna have to call you back. My sister calling. I'm gonna take a short break. Anyway, Maria Selby Humphrey. I don't know if I showed you this in my whip parade because it was in the same bag, and I think I just showed you Little Birds when I got this bag out, which is a bag made by Christy Crosshatch Quilts with blackbird fabric. And this is where I am on this one. So I have quite a bit done. But again, on the bottom is a counted satin. They just keep following me. These counted satin stitches. Now this one is like kind of a tall, skinny one. That brown. So anyway, this is one I need to get back to too. Maria Selby Humphrey by Blackbird. And Little Birds by Blackbird. Those are two that I would love to get finished in the near future, but you know how that goes. Okay, the other thing I've been stitching I worked on Sunday on my His Eyes on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. A lot of people have stitched this. Oh, Narissa. I watched Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle. She showed up close and personal with a lot of her samplers on the wall. And they're beautiful. And it was, if you haven't watched Narissa, you need to. Narissa's Stitching Lifestyle. Nerissa', Narissa's. Anyway, His Eyes on the Sparrow. That was one she had finished and framed along with Consider the Lilies. So every time I pick this up on a Sunday, I try to get at least 3 motifs finished every Sunday. So this is where I am on this one. So I have the top finished other than the personalization, and I'm got the tree. I don't have any of the fruit on the tree, but I have Adam and Eve. And I'm working over in this corner. So I did a boo-boo though. The symbol for caramel corn and chickpea are very similar. Very similar. And I messed up and I did the angel legs and skin in chickpea, which was too close of a color to her dress. Do angels wear dresses? Frocks? I don't know. What do they wear? Anyway. So I took that out. And then the star above it It's done in the wrong color. But I don't think I'm going to pull that out because what does that matter? It doesn't. So anyway, I did this above the bird. There's a dog. I think it's a dog. There's a dog. I got that one done. And then I moved over. And I did the squirrel right here, the bee skep, the angel, start of a flower, and that star. So I kind of did right in there. So I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I really enjoy working on this, except it's 36 count, and usually picture this plus is kind of tight. This is not that tight. Now I don't know if that's because I've been working on it for a long time and it just kind of has loosened up. It's definitely not 32. It's 36. I've counted it, but for some odd reason, it feels a little bit loose. The other thing I've worked on Friday nights, I Zoom with some friends, although I don't do it every Friday night. I try to, but anyway, I'm working on Hawk Run Hollow, and I'm working on this one, which is Opal's Boarding House. Now, let's all look at that sign. It looks like it's purple, right? It's not purple. It's gray. And it's not like I'm using a DMC conversion, so it's a little squirrely. No, that's the color. But anyway, I got the house windows finished. Now there's some backstitch like curtain ties that I haven't finished. But I got the curtains in the windows, and I'm working on that sign. And I'm just doing the fill in on the background. See, I guess it kind of looks purple from a distance. That's kind of interesting. How certain colors photograph, but it's not, it's a gray. So I'm really enjoying that. And I've told myself once I get to the middle of that, halfway, then I can start on houses. Which is really kind of dumb, but I want to do them all, so why not? And then just for kicks and giggles, I had a new start. Because, you know, I don't have enough whips, so I had to start something new. Actually, I started 2 new things, but one of them's not enough to talk about. I started on spring on Hollyberry Farm. Now, I have all the hollyberries done except this one. Well, there's stables at Hollyberry. I haven't done that one, but I've done winter, Halloween, and summer at Hollyberry. Anyway, I've done those 3. I haven't done spring. Now, to me, this doesn't really scream spring. It looks more like spring before spring has sprung. You know, when things are kind of starting to warm up, but they're kind of dead still. Does that make sense? Anyway, so a friend of mine at the Thursday group that I stitch with occasionally was working on this, and I said, oh my gosh, I love that. And I have it kitted, and I want to go home and start it. So I did. So this is how big it's going to be. This is on a piece of Victorian Motto, Old Colonial, when I was in the Victorian Motto Club. So all I have finished, oh, actually, this is going down. All I have finished is, I generally go down and then go across, which screws up the way the charts are made. The charts are made for you to go across and then come back and go, like you would read a sentence. Not me, I go down. Anyway, so I have the beautiful border. Stacey Nash's Hollyberry Farm borders are just fabulous. And I filled in some of the flowers, which is, again, this is a gray, but it looks blue. Doesn't it look blue, the flowers? But it's gray. So I am going to do the border on this first, before I get into the middle. And I'm enjoying it. So that was completely my friend Patty's fault. Then the other thing I picked up to work on was after I saw Olivia Pumpkin Hollow. She's another one I've been watching, so I add that one to the floss tube list. She had this finish. This was her grand finish on her last floss tube. I started this in August with my crazy 8 starts with Narissa. This is Elizabeth Furnace. And I wasn't really going to work on it a lot till I finished my Elizabeth Cheatham. But now that I'm almost finished with that, except those counted satin, I told myself I could work on this. Now I've already started it, but I think I only worked on it like a couple days. So I picked this one up to work on. And this one I'm doing on, let me see. Oh shoot. This is an XJU, but I'm not sure what color because I didn't bring out my threads. Now I'm doing the red line border around it. Some people don't like to do that because they think it's hard to frame, and it is hard to frame, but I just really like it. That little pop of red. So I worked on the leaves. I guess they're leaves. These flowers. I only had like 3 of them done, so I worked on this yesterday and last night. So that's the collection of what I've been working on. I thought I didn't have that much, but I guess I had quite a bit. I'm going to show you delightful deliveries, but I realized I forgot something. So I'm going to go get that and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I still have a few things that I want to get that came out at market. But the first thing I ordered immediately were these 2 cuties from Stacy Nash. This is Miss Hazel, and she's a squirrel. I mean, after all, we all need to have a squirrel in our life, right? But not in the house. And then Maggie May, and she's a bunny. See, I stitch bunnies. I have not done any of the animal crackers, but I think they're all so cute. And I have 2 of them kitted. They were country sampler kits, so I may just start one, just random for my Saturday smalls. I want to get the mouse too, but they were out of it, so the cute little mouse, I can't remember the name. I have a lot of those spools. Those spools that, like the antique spools. And then I purchased all of the new Plum Street. Oh, go away. So I love this one, Proverbs 31 sampler. Someday I hope to be a Proverbs 31 woman. One of the things it says, she basically stays up late and gets up early. But she seeks wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. Love that. Love, love, love. I really might kit this up soon, although I'll probably do it on 40. It calls for a 36 count Ligonier Latte by R&R. It's actually on a box. I wonder if my husband could make me a box. He's sitting here now. He came inside for a little bit. Then I got these 2. This is a series. So the first one is Summer, not the first. I don't know what order they came out, but this is Summer Glory by Plum Street. These are only 61 by 66. Now, come on, people. That's only like 2 days to finish that. Now, I don't mean 2 days when you stitch an hour. I mean 2 days like you stitch a couple hours each day. Although the borders are more intense than you might think. It's so cute with the 2 deer and the flag. And then I got the winter one. I don't know that I got these all at the same time. I think the winter one I got when this came out in like November or something. So we have the deer and the pomegranate and the cardinals. 1 deer and a lady. And then there's an autumn one too that I have. I got American Mermaid. How cute is this? So cute. This would be cute next to American Welcome. I already had American Welcome. It was a new release too, but I already had that one. And then this is interesting. It has 3 different pictures on the back. Oh, I think this is going to be a series. That's what it is, or it already is a series. Because one has a flag, you know, there's like 3 pictures. How do you resist a big red house on a river, ocean? Nelson, how cute is this guy? And this is George Washington's horse, Nelson. There's also Blue Coat, Blue, something like that, another horse, historic horse. Stars, I did not get this one last summer when it came out, Stars and Stripes. So I don't know that I would do the ampersand. Is that an ampersand? But I would like to do the stars and then the stripes. The stripes is by Kitten Stitcher. The stars is by Plum Street. They're companions. And then, of course, I had to get Flag Thief. Love this. Now, this one's 123 by 109, so it's not huge. But Big Red House. So cute. Love the grass. And the bunting. Oh, so cute. Oh, this is the spring beginning, so that's the other one. And then the autumn one. So now I have all of them. So I'd like to stitch the spring first. I don't know if they're on this. I don't think they're all on the same linen, but they could be. And then I got the spring green pears by Annie B's. I already had the blue work and the red work. So that's a, I don't know why, but you kind of feel like you have to get the series. You know, if you got one, you got to have all seasons or whatever. I got the agave linen. However, I also have a piece of this linen by Dixie Sampler. It's called Fern Gully. It's a real light orange, so I might use it. Now that I've told Tara, Sully Stitches, she had to get the agave, which is what the models are stitched on. So I have the agave. And I have some Ligonier Latte, which I had in my stash. I didn't just get that, but that was for one of them. What else do I have in here? Nothing. And nothing. Okay, then Scarlet House. I love the Stitcher's Alphabet. So cute. And the little board that it goes on. Don't look, Mike. It has these, like, what are wheels, but she glued them to there, so they're just so cute. This. Sarah Barnes by the Scarlet House. Love this one. Of course, we have to get the Prairie Schooler Santa. And then the whole Blackbird thing. So there's 2 new books. I Love More Strong. I did not have this. This originally came out, I think, at a Shepherd's Bush retreat. So I got that. And I actually pulled some threads. It's supposed to be done on Velt, which I have, which is a very green linen by Pictures Plus. But I also have a piece of Legacy, so which is also greenish. So I'm not sure which one, but I'm going to start one of these Blackbird because I think they're so cool. So then that made me get out Little Birds, and then I got out, this isn't new, but Humming of the Bees, which I've never stitched. I used to stitch so much Blackbird. And I haven't had a Blackbird finish in ages. And then this Moments of Glad Grace, which I had as from a retreat, all kitted. But I had to get the book because there's more stuff in the book than is in just that one. It's a disease. These people are causing us to suffer through this disease. So one of these I want to start. I love Blackbird. I love them. And Alma, bless her heart, she still keeps releasing things. And I know some of them, she said, I talked to her at one of the retreats and she said she was forensically finishing some stuff that Barb had originally started. So I also had a kit from a Dying to Stitch kit. This is old. Summer Garden. Love that. Love to start that. And then this one, English Garden, which is a bag. I love that. So I have lots of Blackbird that I could start and stitch. I just need to do it. I think that's all I want to show you today. I hope you all are having a good day. Pray for those people that with the Baltimore Bridge, that kind of thing just breaks my heart. So anyway, prayers for that. And I hope you all have a good Easter. Please remember that Easter's not about bunnies and lambs. It's about a Savior that came to rescue us. So Testelestai, which means paid in full. So I hope everyone can experience the grace of Christ and the sacrifice he made for us. So love ya. See ya next time, whenever that is. Bye.